30-minute reviews, Beware of Spoilers, and Exploring Hyperspace Lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam on this, a very overcast and dreary Friday. I'm a little tired today. I don't know why, because I went to bed at a godly hour, which is unlike me. Usually I'm up way later, playing video games or something. No, last night I was asleep by like 12:30 the latest. Just tired today, kind of run down. Either way, good morning. So what we have to talk about today is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, episode 7, which is the penultimate episode. Now we get everything kind of revealed to us. All the key information that we need for the season is now kind of laid out, and we are ready to go into the finale, where we're going to face off against Ares and have other stuff kind of happen. It's one of the things that I like and dislike about this show. Like, everything I've said about it before still stands. Like, I like it, I appreciate it, I turn it on every week. I look forward to it on a weekly basis in a way that I didn't for a lot of other things that Disney Plus has put out. Every week I'm here for this show, which is something to be said for that. The issue I have is that the show is, what's we're looking for here? It is designed where it's very much like event. Like, thing happens. Very little time in between to breathe. It's just kind of like, here's the next monster, here's the next god, here's the next, thing for them to deal with. And look, I get it, it's meant to be an epic quest, and I understand what they're going for. I'm not saying that that's bad, necessarily. I'm saying that, like, by the time we get to this episode, I feel like there's not enough time, kind of, to get to know the characters any. Like, I get that time has passed in between the episodes, and we're using that same kind of, I've called it in the past, implicit character development that we get from Star Wars, where it's like, look, we aren't sitting here and watching these characters 24/7. In fact, there's vast swatches of time, vast amounts of time, I don't know what I was trying to say there, in between the movies for Star Wars. So, like, there's time passing, and in that time, these characters are getting to know each other. I think the closest we got to these characters kind of coalescing into a cohesive friend group was in the episode with, it was in the early episodes, and then it's kind of like, alright, we've established our new dynamic, let's move on from here. And it's like, look, I appreciate it, and I like what they're going for, but it's just, I would like a little bit more time to breathe between crises. Like, give me a chance to get to know the characters in a situation where they aren't constantly being tested. Like, let them breathe. You gotta have these moments in between where the characters can just, like, maybe not take a deep breath, but just take a breath, pause, and move on. Like, this episode opens in that scene in the fucking mattress shop, and I'm watching it and I'm like, did I miss an episode? Like, no, there's no way I missed an episode. Or, like, do I just not remember how the last episode ended? And then I went back and watched the end of the last episode. I'm like, no, oh, so they figured out they had to go to this guy, went to his place, and came up with a plan on how to handle him off camera. And I'm like, great. Like, alright, it is what it is. And I think the other thing is, too, it's like I came across the video of, like, oh, the way that they handle it in the movie, where it's like the Medusa issue, where he beats Medusa by using the back of his iPod as a reflective surface for her to look at and turns her to stone. And I look at that and I'm like, oh, that's inventive. That's a character who could figure out things. And it's like, it's not just, let's just, use the same trick 17 times and see what happens. So look, I think that, like, I'm not saying the show is bad. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Because I do still enjoy the show. I just would prefer a little bit of downtime between things going on and all of that. And then it's like, I'm not a huge fan of these episodes where it's like, okay, so now we have to unveil everything that we didn't tell you up until this point, and we kind of have to go from there. And it's like, okay, but, like, can we get a little bit of, like, I don't know, like, it feels strange that it's like, okay, so now at the last possible second we're going to explain everything to you, it's all going to make sense, and it's like, okay, but sure, I guess, like, let's just leave it at that and call it a day. Like, I don't think that's necessarily the best way to handle that style of storytelling. I think that what you should have done is kind of, like, based on the way that this show runs, I would assume that the book is written kind of first person, or, like, not like Harry Potter, or kind of like Harry Potter, but not entirely like Harry Potter, where Harry Potter's kind of like limited third person, where it's like we're not getting everything, we're getting just the key information relevant to Harry, and occasionally we'll get things elsewhere. Like, I would assume that that's how this is written. What I need from something like that, and what Harry Potter did, and what like the Hunger Games did. The Hunger Games is solely first person. Is if you're not adapting it in first person, we're not hardcore Henrying this shit. We're going to adapt it in third, but we're going to give you some glimpses outside, so that way when the characters get information revealed to them, and we like, you could create the dramatic irony of us knowing what happened, and that helps to add tension. Like, now knowing what we know about Ares and what Ares is up to and how Ares was operating, like, had we known from the beginning that Ares was up to something, or had they hinted that it was Ares in the beginning, like, that was behind all of this, and he's trying to, and he is, he's the one who's kind of pushing the machinations along to start this conflict. Had we known earlier on, that scene in the diner becomes a fantastic scene. And not just, oh, that's entertaining. Like it's small things where it's like, okay, well, let's just do, oh, let's just sit here with Ares. Had they teased us, oh, it's Ares that stole the Master Bolt, or was trying to try and start a war among his siblings, like, had we known that, like, that suddenly adds tension to that scene. Because we, the audience, know that Percy and Annabeth and Grover are in grave danger because of who Ares is. And it's not just, oh, well, how are they going to interpret Ares in this show? Is he going to be a threat, or is he just kind of a dick, or is it like how do we handle that? And I think that's kind of a big issue. I don't say, like, oh, you should have read the book. It's like, well, if I read the book, there's no tension in the scene at all, because I know everything then. Like, I should not have homework to watch a show. And when I say I shouldn't have homework to watch a show, what I mean is I should not have to read the book the show is based on to get the key emotions of a scene. Like, I should just be able to let it, to let the scene stand on its own 2 feet. But yeah, I think that is kind of the biggest issue I have with this, is that it's like, oh, like, we're not revealing this key information. And then it's like everything kind of happens in the episode is kind of just, I don't know, boring. Like, and we still have to rectify the, like, Are we still gonna have to rectify the Oracle next episode? Someone will betray him and someone will die. Like, obviously it's gonna be the mother who dies. Like, it's not gonna be like they're not gonna kill and not just because I know that Annabeth and Grover were in the sequel movie, but that I know it's not Annabeth and Grover who ends up getting killed. Like, I just don't know. Like, so you gotta kill the mom off. You're not gonna kill anyone off. Like, and then how does it work with what was the other one? The other one was someone will betray you. And I guess that's just Ares. Are we gonna say Ares is the one who will betray them on the trip? I guess. God, the Oracle is just so fucking annoying because it's like, why do you speak so cryptically? Just give us the information. Stop being a dick about it. Either way, we'll wrap up there for today. So I was going to do American Fiction on Wednesday, but something came up in the evening that I needed to handle, and I had to postpone that. Today we'll be doing Origin. I'll be going to see that after work. Tomorrow we will be seeing, I haven't looked at the calendar yet to see what's playing, but we will be doing a movie tomorrow morning. And then Friday, and then, yes, we have Masters of the Air. Masters of the Air we will also be doing. I think I'll watch that tonight, the first 3 episodes. So, and Masters of the Universe, Revolution, the new Masters of the Universe show from Kevin Smith. I really enjoyed the first one, Revelations. Hopefully this is as good. But yeah, so we have that coming up within the next week too. But until our next episode, have a great rest of your